spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Nobody has more kinds of cars or more kinds of people. See them at the sign of the cat. By Goodyear, makers of the custom Steel Guard radial tire. And by State Farm Mutual. Almost anywhere you live, there's a State Farm agent nearby. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
How about your backup quarterback right now?
Who's that?
Dak Prescott.
Backup quarterback. Backup.
Hey, you know what? This sounds just like my children. If Susie or I discipline one child, they kick it to another sibling of theirs.
I have nothing to do with this.
Hey, you take a shot at me, and the shot just gets deflected.
That's collateral damage,
Hey, Dak
folks.
was at the 35th Annual Children's Cancer Fund down there in Dallas.
Love this
guy.
guy.
And was asked how the hamstring is doing after he only played 8 games last year because of it. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, I'm getting close to where I want to be. I don't want to put a percentage on it. Know we've got team activities coming up. Imagine myself being involved in some sort, if not all. But then again, understanding my age, what I've went through is, it's about getting to the fall and being my best in the fall. So not rushing anything, but I'm where I want to be. If I had to play a game today, I definitely could do that. So it's about moving forward healthy to make sure I can play 17 when the time's 20 and whatever that we get to when the time's right.
Love him.
Wow.
Listen, let me tell you this, man.
20 games, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to repeat this, and I'm going to keep saying this.
Here
I'm
we
going
go.
to pound
Here
this
we go.
drum for the next 10 days.
Pound it. Pound
You're
it.
going to be disrespectful this time?
I am not.
Okay.
He's not
I
going
am
to be
not being
respected.
disrespectful at all. I'm going to pound this drum for 10 days. I
Pound
pounded
it.
it before leaving for the week last week.
With all respect.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry.
Go trade for Travis Hunter. Do it.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Go
Do it.
trade for Travis
Do it.
Hunter. You need
That's
an
a couple of ones,
injection
man.
of superstardom. You need it. You know you want it. You know you have it. And you know you got to pay Micah. We all know it. You said, you need to sometimes sit back and see how it all plays out with other people. Sometimes it doesn't involve the people that you're waiting to
Get a hold of
sign.
yourself
Sometimes
here.
it does.
Wait a
All of
minute.
that stuff he said at the owners' meeting that made no sense. All of it. What makes sense is when you're paying Dak what you're paying him, and you're paying CD what you're paying him, and you're paying Michael what you're going to have to pay him, and what you're paying Diggs, and you're paying all of these stars of your team. Okay? You trade draft capital in the future to get one of the biggest stars to come to this team since Randy Moss wanted to show up. Okay? This is what we're talking about here because it checks every box. You need help on offense for your quarterback, don't you? Let's add him
Gina
to CeeDee Lamb.
Diva.
You need help on the back end of your defense, maybe, right? You already got a bunch of guys there. You're handling your business there. So maybe that's why he would major on offense in Dallas. And then on occasion, you need to make sure A.J.
package.
Brown is handled. You need to make sure Devontae Smith is handled. You need to make sure McLaurin's handled. You need to make sure, let's go down the list who's handled, right? Malik Neighbors, just in your own division.
Okay.
This kid can do that. And then on top of it,
Really?
you need buzz. You need people coming to your.
It'll be buzz.
You need people who want to, stare. Who's having lunch today when I'm on my tour of your facility?
Who's working out?
I'm serious. If that's supposedly what's so important there, it's part and parcel of running the Cowboys Incorporated. Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, you want to be talked about, right? Like, spell my name right, right? What more could you ask for than having Dion associated with your team again in some way, shape, or form, lording
Man, sounds good.
over the Schottenheimer process? Oh, my God. Dion's doing this, Dion's doing that. I'm sure Dion, he's happy where he is. He just crushed it. But who cares that he signed a new contract for what?
5 years?
Eight figures per. Who cares? Who cares? Doesn't matter.
55 million.
He could loom. What do you think? Everybody in topic bar country in our business?
Topic bar
doesn't want would be nuanced about he signed. He's not going anywhere.
But you see what we got here. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm not sure if that's right or not, if it's 144 days, because it was originally set to last year's. I got to find out if that's correct. But if that's true, we're on the tail end side of getting back in the season. And I see Gina Dallas Diva. What's up? And of course, I see Lola, Miss Hot Sauce. You know what? For Stephen R. Whoa, shit. Holy moly. Yo. I think that lightning bolt just hit in my backyard. Holy shit. People, I saw the flash through the window. At the same time, I heard the boom, chakalaka. And now here comes the rain. Whoa. Whoa. Literally, the hair is standing on top. Trey? You all right? Wow. That was crazy. I was about to say, Stephen R., what is your problem, dude? Listen. I'm trying to be a better person, but some of you mother humpers, man, just some of you mother humpers, you're going to come in here, you think that Dak is soft. You know what? You can say a lot about Dak Prescott. Soft ain't one of them, bro. Soft ain't one of them. I'd like to see you, Stephen R., break your thumb, and get a plate and screws put in it, and 6 weeks later play in an NFL game. Oh, I'm sorry. You couldn't play in an NFL game because you stink. You stink. And so those who can't just talk and run their damn mouth, soft. Did you see that guy get his ankle completely? Because here's what I'm going to say to you, Stephen R., Mr. He's Soft. Dak Rain Dakota broke his ankle, severed that sucker, completely snapped. And you know what he did, Stephen R.? Stephen R., you know what he did? The next year, that one wasn't as close. The next year, he came back and had 37 TDs, 4,400 yards, 10 interceptions, and a 12-5 year. Is that soft, son? Is that soft? Because, see, I find it funny that people who couldn't get themselves on a football field have the nerve to try and say somebody else sucks. You know what? Even the last player on every roster is 100 times better than you, Stephen R. Yes, they are. Yes, without question. You don't get the right to call a guy who literally had his hamstring pulled off the bone. You know something that they say when the hamstring pulls off the bone? That sometimes it pulls off a chunk of bone with it, son. A chunk of bone. You get a daggone hangnail, you're probably crying to mama. He had a chunk of bone ripped off with his hamstring, and he's back out there on the field. Logan, I did not cuss. I called him a mother humper. I did not cuss. But I'm getting tired of idiots out here that think that they have the right to talk down to somebody when they can't do diddly poo. That's right. I said diddly poo. This is freaking ridiculous. Steve, do you have anything to bring to the table? Anything, just anything other than Dak Prescott hate? Because I'm tired of just straight up hate. You know what this channel is about, bro. If you don't want to get with the program, that's cool. That's cool. Stephen R., there's tons and tons of channels. See, you know what's funny about you, Stephen R., is you come in here, you say stupid, off the wall BS. Boy, this is a bad mother humper out here now. You come in here and say stupid, off the wall stuff, and then somebody puts you in timeout. And then you come crying on the other channel, please let me back, please let me back. You know what? It's not a right to be in here. It's a privilege, son. Get with the program. Stop being an embarrassment. Drunk, fat, and stupid is no way to go through life. Son, I bet you don't even know what movie that's from. Shout out to Hugh Jackson, Dre the Great, Lauren Ramon. What's up, Lauren? Okay. Is there anybody else that'd like to step up in here while we have the power of Mother Nature going off out there? I don't know if you guys saw the flash when that happened. Okay, I don't, but it was. I mean, that was close. That was probably about as close. One time I saw a lightning bolt hit a transformer and blow that sucker up while I was sitting in the street. I think that might have gotten the gopher. I might need to go out and check and see. Trey, can you check the gopher outside? That might. I've been, my Ring camera. We see the gopher. He's gotten fat over the winter. It's all the vegetables of mine he ate. He's fat and just enjoying himself. He's just kind of slipped. I think he might have gotten hit by the lightning bolt. Okay. Yes, we're bringing that back. Now, before we get any further here, Eric Spencer sent me something. I don't know what Eric sent me. I cut the box open, but I said I'd wait until I get here and check it out. I am so loved by you guys, except for Stephen R. Stephen R., you know it's just jokes, right? Kind of like your comments. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Eric got me or he got it made, or he made it. He got me a coffee mug, and it's a picture of my dad. my dad holding one of the prints that I made. It's my mom and my dad when they were in high school together. And you can see my dad's got his coffee mug sitting up there because my dad loved his coffee. As soon as I picked him up to go to from the hospital, it was always like, I can't wait to get home and get my coffee. Wow. I miss you, Dad. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. That's going to be treasured. Get rid of this chunky ass soup. Put my dad up there. Lady Libra in the house. What's up, Lady Libra?
Yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Wow. All right. Let me get back in here. So I was beginning to say that, you know what's funny to me? It's hilarious to me how I'm supposed to be Joe the fan, okay? And that's all I claim to be. I feel so blessed to have people like Eric and Lady Libra and Gina Thorne and Momo. Yeah, yes, I'm saying a Commander fan, and even Philly 500. I got onto YouTube. Actually, I got onto Facebook originally and actually writing, believe it or not, writing for Cover 32 because I always would see so much stuff that was completely wrong that was being said about like Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I was a Tony Romo fan. Those out there that think I just, hate Dak. And some of the same hate that I get because I support Dak. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the super chat. Your dad is with you and with all of us. Sure, he's definitely in me. Son of John, we love you too, man. I appreciate that. I meant to bring some of the plaques. I've got the Zach Martin plaque that I was going to bring down, and I got one from our kicker, and I got one from Schoonmaker that I want to give away, and I forgot to bring those when I came down. But what I was saying is, I'm Joe the fan, okay? I didn't play professional football. I didn't go to ESPN's School of Broadcasting. I didn't go with Mel Kiper to the Mel Kiper Institute or anything like that. I am just the guy who is a football fan that started talking. But I did, James, shout out, thank you, James, for the membership in the chat. Let me make sure I get that. Let's see. 39 months. Shout out to James Snyder. 39 months. Appreciate and thank you for the condolences. The thing that's crazy is so many times I hear things that are so off. And I'm wondering, how in the world are you on air when you don't even have the facts straight? Now, Stephen R., he's got this whole, Dak is soft. You can say a lot of things about Dak, but soft isn't one of them. That's not one of them. You're talking about a guy who lost his mother to cancer while he was playing football in college. You're talking about a guy whose brother committed suicide. Soft ain't one of them, bro. You can say he ain't a great quarterback. Okay, that's debatable. But you can't call him soft. And you literally cannot disrespect the amount of work that the guy puts in. Just can't. But I'm sitting here, and before the show, I always go through, and I like to find clips and things. But you get Mike Furio and Sims that sitting here and they're talking about Dak Prescott's injury, and they don't even know what the injury really is. Listen to this for a second. Listen to these guys.
He got his big contract last year, just on the first Sunday of the regular season, $60 million a year, highest paid player in the NFL until Josh Allen jumped him, and he did. I know we see the graphic with Dak at 60 and Josh at 55. The truth is, if we're going to do apples to apples, Josh is at 55 and Dak's at 53 or 54. But he had the hamstring injury on October. I was going to say, yes, it was November 3rd. November 3rd. That's when he suffered the hamstring injury. Now, most hamstring injuries you suffer in early November. When are you back? Mid-December at the latest. This sounds like it was a pretty serious hamstring injury.
It does.
We are months after the fact. Let's hear it straight from him. Listen to his words carefully and ask yourself, does this sound like any hamstring injury you've ever heard of before? Here he is from over the weekend on his recovery from that hamstring injury.
Yeah, I'm getting close to where I want to be. I don't want to put a percentage on it. Know we've got team activities coming up. Imagine myself being involved in some sort, if not all. But then again, understanding my age, what I had, what I've went through is it's about getting to the fall and being my best in the fall. So not rushing anything, but I'm where I want to be.
I can understand it for a torn ACL, a ruptured Achilles, right? A hamstring injury. That sounds like as severe of a hamstring injury as
like
you
a tear.
Could have.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I would expect.
Like torn off the bone.
Right. Maybe. And maybe really high up in the hamstring, which was what we thought, I think, when it originally happened, because you saw
don't know?
the higher up it is, closer it is to the glute, the butt there, that's the most dangerous spot to pull. And, yeah, it is kind of shocking, though. I'm with you. And the fact that quarterback, here we are, almost 6 months later, and we're talking about, if I had to play today, I guess I could, all of that. Yeah, I didn't think to hear that type of language or think we were going to hear that type of language from Dak Prescott. But they need him. We know that. This is an offense that we all got questions about. It's Brian Schottenheimer. He's coming in. What's going to be his new wrinkle to the offense? How is he going to add to it? We talked about a million times before of Dak Prescott. Hey, you're the highest paid quarterback in football or the second highest paid quarterback in football, but you're probably barely top 10 in the league, so there's pressure on you there. There's not a lot of playmakers on the offense. All they know how to do is feed one guy, CeeDee Lamb. They can't feed anybody else. So, yeah, they need him to be tip-top, like playing his A game this year for sure. Hopefully he can do that.
And this is an example of what can happen after the team gives the player significant security against injury. And Dak was healthy. Now he's had a history of injury, but he was healthy at the time they did the contract. But guy gets injured, and you got a lot of money committed to a guy who missed half the season and about whom there are questions entering 2025. It gets back to what we were talking about with Aiden Hutchinson. There's a certain element of risk. That's why they call it injury risk. Somebody's got to bear the consequence of the risk. And when the team ends up bearing it, the fans get upset. It's like we're paying all this money to a guy who can't play. Well, that's how it works when you have a great player. You got to give him that safety net. You got to give him that protection against injury so he still gets his money.
Yeah, I guess. And he plays a kind of a physical brand of football. He stands in the pocket. He's kind of big like that. He takes hits. So that is, the price of.
Okay, wait a minute. These guys are supposed to be. Wait a minute. How do you not know that Dak Prescott, you always pretend to know everything about his problems and this, that, and the other, but you don't know that he actually had the hamstring ripped off the bone? You would think that was just like the regular old, just a hamstring strain. Well, it's 6 months later, the further up it goes, the worse it's like, what? Wait a minute. People. It was tore off the bone, and you don't know that, and you're supposed to be broadcasting and talking to people and telling them what's going on, and you don't know that it was torn off the bone and the recovery time for it? You don't actually know what the injury is? You're just pulling stuff out your rear? Seriously? That's what you guys are doing? That's what you guys get paid to do? This is like exactly what Shady McCoy says. They'll put a microphone and pay anybody to go ahead and talk, apparently, because this is about the dumbest stuff that I've ever heard. I'm just like, wait a minute. How is this bringing, the thing you want to do is you want to bring something of substance to people. I don't know if I bring anything of substance or not. Hugh says, come on, Mark, they're not cover 32. They cover 32 teams and are obsessed with Dak like you. Are you sure they're not obsessed? Because they sure know everything about Dak Prescott. They sure seem to talk about him more than any other quarterback in the NFL. I think you could literally take every other quarterback out there and say, here's how much we talk about every other quarterback, and here's how much we talk about Dak Prescott. Seriously. And you're telling me you don't know that he had his hamstring tore off the bone. Okay. And had surgery. Okay. All right. Dirty Sanchez in the house. What's going on? Eric Spencer. They crazy, Mark. Eric, thank you very much for the mug, man. That's beautiful. I don't know if you made that or if you got somebody to make it for you. It's beautiful. So here's what we have going on here that I'm extremely happy about is Game Time, Brian. Shout out to Game Time. Game Time, I need your help in the very near future, and I know next Tuesday night we've got the round table with Philly 500 and crew and things, so I'm looking forward to that. Appreciate you, Game Time, Brian. So today, because we have a new coach and everything else, we are able to start off-season workouts. Today, us and the New Orleans Saints started that process. Now, our quarterback is healing and getting on the field. New Orleans quarterback looks like he might have to have shoulder surgery and should have already been healed, and his season is in doubt, in which case that may make New Orleans more apt to try and take a quarterback. Maybe they end up with Shedeur Sanders. We'll have to wait and see. Thomas Garrett, Ratio, Logan Motorsports. I'm awake. Are you? Well, actually, it's I'm awake. You took it out. Dak is second. Nah, Hurts gets more hate. Nah, bro. Bro. It's not even close. Bro. Jalen Hurts gets no hate in comparison to Dak Prescott. None. Zero. Zilch. Zingo. Nada. No. Nothing. In comparison, nobody. You can take all the hate in the NFL that's talked, and then you can take Dak Prescott, and they're probably about even. Okay? I mean, literally, you hear these guys, Dak Prescott, he's got that contract, and, he's only about a top 10 quarterback and everything else, and, it's taking so long for, a hamstring to heal. He's saying that he could play, and they don't even know what they're talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I see you shorten your name. Shedeur Sanders will be great in the hands of Kellen Moore. Kellen plays to players' strengths. Well, that'll be interesting to see if that is, in fact, the case. If the Steelers don't jump up to get him, to try and get them himself. So, Micah Parsons. Here's where I feel about Micah Parsons right now. Micah Parsons, let's back up. Let me back up here, okay? Forgive me, I'm trying to get my thoughts together here, and I've gotten out of sync. Think about T.J. Watt right now, who says he wants to be paid higher than Myles Garrett. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. He does. But he's already been on social media and posting peace out, in which case, of course, all of the rumor mill of where they can trade him, the Cowboys should go get him, or, the Cowboys should trade Dak Prescott for him, and, this, that, and the other, and so on out there. Micah Parsons, forget what Mobo has to say about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, well, he ain't a great run stopper. Yeah, well, he is, I think, the highest or the second highest sack percentage out there. And this is a guy who has played pretty much everywhere across the line, plays linebacker, has played safety, he's played cornerback, he drops into coverage sometimes, he rushes the quarterback. He does it all. And he does something really, really good, which is getting after the quarterback. To the tune of being 12 sacks last year in 13 games. But I'll even go a little bit better. With 90 pressures. 90 pressures. I'll even go one further. When he came back from injury, he had 11 sacks. 11 sacks in 8 games. That's a lot of sacks. That's a lot of sacks. That's a lot of pressures, 90. And if the Cowboys could ever get out of this drafting to replace and drafting for complement, you could maximize Micah Parsons. If you put Micah Parsons on the Eagles with that defense out there, you might see 25 sacks. That's a fact. That's a straight up fact. And if you could get some guys out there who could stop the run and just say, Micah, every play, I want you upfield. I just want you upfield to constantly be a menace in the backfield. Don't worry about the run. Now, this guy has been on record saying, I do not need to be the highest paid player in the NFL. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? He didn't say peace sign, I'm out. He said, I just want to get my deal done and I don't have to be the highest paid in the NFL. He's talked about leadership, right? In the past, and I if you want to, I can find the clip, where he literally said, with Mike Zimmer, first of all, it was kind of like, Mike Zimmer, yeah, you know, we haven't had that many words and things. You know, Mike's probably got things doing things the way he likes. I have things the way I like to do them. And I don't come in for voluntary workouts, you know, bond diddly dee. I do my own thing. I got to let my body heal and get it stronger the way I know how to do it. And basically, F the voluntary workouts. F them. I don't care we got a new coach. That was his attitude last year. But I keep telling you, things changed after he got injured. After he got injured, 5 games, 1 sack. Big Play Slay on his podcast, yucking it up after we got mollywopped by the Lions. Sometimes in life, you don't change until you hit rock bottom. And for the first time, I think Micah Parsons getting the criticism about his podcast, not being able to be out on the field, and starting out a season not real good after having a new defensive coordinator and not being there, kind of changed him a bit because he seemed like a man on fire when he came back. And the defense responded. He's talked about needing to be a leader. And now that we've got D-Law out of here, lo and behold, Dak Prescott was the first player at the facilities this morning. The third player was Micah Parsons.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
It was Micah Parsons. So now you had Jerry trying to do the reach around. I'm sorry, the end around. He might have been trying to do that reach around. You know I like them glory holes. We went them glory hole days and we were reaching around. Okay. End around the agent to Micah Parsons. And we're allegedly hearing because he wanted assurances from Micah Parsons that you're going to be a leader. You're going to be a leader. Go like the screen. Thank you, Uncadoodly. And I know I butchered that up. Kid Cowboy, howdy. I think they should draft that Abdul if he's there. Abdul's not going to be there at 12. You'd have to move up to probably the second spot, third at the most. Miguel, I will be at the Man Cave, and we will be having a draft party, and probably I hope to be streaming with Game Time Brian, who he's concerned. I'm concerned that they're going to let Ephesus have too much input on the draft. We need a big one technique, and he believes in quick three tech and loves Mozzie. Well, maybe he can continue taking the torch of Mozzie and keep pumping him up a bit more. That would be the goal, hopefully. Eric, I'm excited for the 25 season Dallas Cowboy for life. 1, truth. 2, honesty. And 3, love that Mark Holmes on it. Okay. Yeah. On the. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, shit. I'm trying to do better. Trying not to cuss. Lovely Linda in the house. What's up, Linda?
This is ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
So he's now shown up. He's working out. And, of course, they had the crawfish boil. Big table full of crawfish for everybody else. And I'm going to dare say, if you are Brian Schottenheimer, this is exactly what you want to see. Last year we had Micah Parsons, bon diddly dee. I got my own thing, and I'm not going to be here until it's mandatory. And no respect, it seemed like, for Mike Zimmer and what he was doing. We got everybody there for voluntary, day one, working out together. I am still pissed. What are you pissed about, Momo? I thought you were sad about your brother. Why are you pissed? Now, I will say, though, there is some news from your Commanders quarterback, Momo. Do you know what your quarterback said? Do you? Do you, punk? Do you know what your quarterback said today? I'm going to summarize it and say, be scared of Dak Prescott being back.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
He said, you better be prepared for Dak Prescott.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
William Tilton, I'm with Wade and Ultra, not looking forward with Dallas. Crabs over crawfish. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The crawfish, you're just getting really the tail. You gotta suck it out and everything else. It's kind of like this little tip here, and you gotta suck on. You gotta suck that little tip. It's got the little claw. I'm not that big. I need something bigger. I need like full crabs. Okay, okay. I like jumbo bay crabs. That's it. Now my daughter loves regular crab legs and things, but crawfish that's too much work. What's up, Mark, my brother? I pray for you and your family. That hell of a loss, you man. I've been there, brother. Amen. Thank you very much, Joseph. I appreciate that. Dante. So what is Dante Fowler? Chopped liver. Would Jerry do that? Would Jerry do what? I agree with, and see that goes back to too fresh and too clean. I want an edge rusher on the other side of Parsons. He can't do it all on his own. That's been my contention all along, because we get everybody that comes through and they tell us, oh, we got a whole lot of talent. We got Micah Parsons. Yeah, but, even Lawrence Taylor had like Carl Banks on the other side and things, and had other players on that defense with them. It's not just one player. You look at what DeMarcus Ware was doing for us. He had the 21 sack season and things. He was doing great things, but we didn't have the players in the middle. He goes to Denver, has Von Miller on the other side. They win a Super Bowl. That's the difference. As much as everybody always wants to throw it, it's Mike. And our defense sucks because Mike is, sucks. Mark, I'm very sad, just releasing some anger. Bro, I understand, man. You can call me later on that one. I believe we got 3-3 in the division, Joe Bear. I think we did get 3-3. We did get 3-3. We almost got 4-2 that last Washington game. I'm just saying. And most of that was with Cooper Rush, I believe. Actually, I think all that was with Cooper Rush. Beanie, Mark, I'm sure you told us already many times, but what are your plans for the draft? For the draft, I will be in the man cave, and we're going to be having a draft party. I think David Wiley, at least the first night, David Wiley will be there. Hopefully DMV will be there. Some of you great fans will be there, and we'll be broadcasting. Hopefully we'll be probably doing some stuff because I've gotten used to the last 2 drafts, hanging with Primetime Phil, David Wiley, DMV, and Primetime Phil. So hopefully we'll stream together and have that same, camaraderie. I got under 10. You know what? I got 11. I got 11. So anyway, back to Micah Parsons, okay? Pink's looking to build no Pinks next door. No Pinks. No Pinks. But back to Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons has said, I'm going to be a leader. Hasn't disrespected the coaches. He's there, third one in the building for OTAs. He said, I don't need to be the highest paid. He is up there with Reggie White as the 2 guys to have the most sacks to start their career. What more do the Joneses need to see? What more do you need to see? What other leaves do you need to see fall? If it's me, I look at this and say, I got a real one. It's not D-Law saying, you know what, bro, I ain't getting the shoulder operated until I get my contract. You give me my money. I'm not doing nothing. If it costs the season, that's on you, bro. That's on you. Zeke Elliott, nah, man. I know I'm a running back. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to hold out, man. I'm going to be on – you got my agent's number. I'll be on the beach at Cabo. I'll have my Corona with the lime in it and things. I'll do some running in the sand. But call me when you get it done. And you literally had Zeke who? You said, Zeke who? I'm just kidding. No, you weren't, Jerry. No, you weren't. Wasn't like CeeDee Lamb. Bro. Brian, I think you're right about that because it always seems like when they give out the big money, it's during training camp when we got you for the next 6 months. But here's the thing, though, and it's a two-way street, Game Time. I'll be honest, I can't really say I blame the other players for holding out. Heaven forbid, what happens if Micah somehow got hurt? What happens if because see now Micah is taking all the risks now. Micah is taking all the risks after doing everything that he is supposed to do and more. When we drafted him, don't come out here and tell me, oh yeah, well he did exactly what I knew. Nobody knew that he was going to be able to do what he did. We drafted him to be a linebacker, not an edge rusher. We did not draft him to be an edge rusher. Out of necessity, we found out, damn, that boy is good. It's because the Joneses can't post-date checks anymore. But it doesn't make, okay, at this point, you're right. Game Time, you're probably right. They don't want to pay him or pay because they're worried, well, he's going to have, that big, fat, juicy check. He might go out there and do something stupid, but you're talking about Micah Parsons. Micah is not that, he's not the one that's going to go out there and do something stupid. He understands. He understands that he is in the public spotlight. He comes from great stock and was taught the difference between right and wrong. He's not going to be out there drinking and driving. He's not going to be up there in the club, making it rain like crazy and stuff and dropping $1 million in a weekend like Adam Jones. The worst thing you have to worry about is him doing a freaking podcast. Pay the man and get the relationship together. Because, see, now, and see, game time, okay. I go to him right now and say, okay, you know what? I'm glad you showed up. We're going to give you a 5-year, $41 million. No, I tell you what, make it $42 million. We're going to give you a 5-year, $42 million contract. We're going to guarantee $90 million of it. And let's just get this thing done. Pay a little bit more. Just sweeten the kitty a little bit, because if you wait like you did CD, it's probably going to be 45 or more. Right? Now you're actually making him the highest paid by a little bit more, by quite a bit more than Jamar Chase. And now you got good feelings. You know, he is literally, Micah Parsons has literally done everything possibly right. Now the problem is you show up, you start working out, you start getting in shape and things, you get the draft in and stuff, and you start thinking, now, wait a minute, hold on. I've been given, I'm here sweating my ass off instead of me going sumo wrestling. I could be sumo wrestling. I could be, going to basketball games and things. I could be hanging out with CJ Stroud. But I'm here working out, giving you everything, being a leader, risking if I get hurt, right? I'm giving. What you giving to me? Fellas. If your wife is giving and giving and giving and giving, and you ain't doing jack in return, at some point, she gonna turn on you. And when she does, it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. I agree. In game time, I agree. But game time, he wasn't there last year until it became mandatory. And he put it out there. I haven't really talked to Mike Zimmer. But I need, as he put it, I need to do things my way to get my body right, to let it heal, and I'll be there for mandatory. That was the attitude that he had with the new defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer. I agree. I want everybody there. And after what happened with, I can't remember his name, the wide receiver trainer, who just got 25 years, it got me thinking about what is that guy's last name? We had an offensive line coach, Paul from Cincinnati. Okay, Mr. Ketchup Bottle. Brian, I know you remember his name. But he never got a job after being here with the Cowboys. But his thing was tap on the ketchup bottle on the 57. Tap on it. He said he has this test for offensive linemen to see if they're smart enough. If they tap on, you give them a bottle of ketchup. Get the ketchup out the bottle. If they tap on the 57, you lay it sideways, it'll help it to come out easy. Paul Alexander. Thank you, Dwayne Sweeney. Thank you. That's it. Paul Alexander. So it's like, does tapping on the ketchup bottle help you to stop Myles Garrett rushing? We also had Sanjay Lau. His big thing was making people carry bricks after practice. Carry bricks. Walking around, players, wide receivers, walking around carrying bricks. I carry around bricks, and what happens for me is my hands kind of get calluses on them. They get dried out from the bricks, and then my tendons start to hurt. So what if you're working out with guys that are teaching you something different than what the team wants to do or philosophy-wise? Because Paul Alexander, Mr. Ketchup Bottle, he took Tyron Smith and crew, and they looked like some ass. Not good ass that we like to look. There's the peaches out there that we like to look at. Okay, there's just good ass and there's bad ass. Okay, we're talking about that. They look like the long flat ass. And so they got rid of him, and they brought back Marco Colombo. And Marco Colombo got rid of all that ketchup bottle stuff, and they turned it around, and they started getting back to being road graders. So we have all the experts that are out there that are working with the players in the offseason, and they're reputable. And I'm not trying to throw shade on them, but you got one now that's been working with wide receivers, that was a famous one, who's now going to jail for 25 years. So that's my question right there. Now, with the OTAs, the workouts, technically you're not allowed to work out on the field. This is not, you're not going out and running plays. This is working and lifting weights. This is doing exercise. This is running, bicycles. This is working with the training staff. But you're not meeting with coaches and doing stuff on the field. But this is where you begin to start becoming a team. And having Micah there with the new coaches, with all the new players, getting to know everybody, I think is great. Tony Cowboys show, 25 years, what did he do, Mark? What did who do? Tony, who are we talking about? We're talking about Jerry, 30 years. If we're talking about Brian Schottenheimer, don't sleep on Brian Schottenheimer. I'm going to be real with you. I'll say this much. Jason Garrett was considered a hot coordinator, right? I don't know why. He was a quarterback coach for 1 year for Nick Saban in Miami when Nick Saban said, I'm out before the season was over. And Baltimore wanted to get him as a head coach. Could you imagine if Baltimore had gotten Jason Garrett? Oh, sexual assault, I think. I think it was sexual misconduct of some kind. Apparently he was a predator. Yeah. Jason Garrett, his resume was he was 1 year a quarterback coach in Miami. He was then the offensive coordinator for us for one season, and then he was hired and thought to be a genius. Brian Schottenheimer, I can tell you, the players respect him. That's the first thing. Right now, I think that we got to the point where players were tuning out Mike McCarthy and knew he was a dead man walking and that Jerry Jones didn't give a rat's ass about him. For the guys to show up, including Micah Parsons, show that they actually respect him. For them to have the crawfish boil, that's a great way to kind of get the team together and say, okay, all right, man, I got my workout in, man. If you like crawfish, and see, like Dak, he's from Louisiana. He loves crawfish, okay, and things, right? On a minor with a perverted ass. Oh, he was, okay, so was a, okay, ooh, yeah, pedophile. Okay, yeah. But Schottenheimer, no, he hasn't had the opportunity to be a head coach. But see, I like a guy that has experience that's been around. And for him, the last time the Jets were actually relevant, he was the offensive coordinator. He took a guy like Mark Sanchez to the AFC Championship game 2 or 3 times. He had Russell Wilson for 3 years, and he was letting Russell Wilson cook. And with Russell Wilson, he had Russell Wilson with 41 TDs, 4,100 yards, and they had 2,000 yards rushing. If you can get that out of Dak Prescott in this offense, we're good. We're good. So he was here when Dak Prescott was runner-up MVP. He wasn't calling the plays. That was Mike McCarthy, but he's the guy who's been working with him. So you already had a relationship with him. He's not starting from scratch like, these other coaches. And the Cowboys, it didn't look like it had enough seasoning for you. Well, I'm sure they had plenty of bottles of hot sauce at least. And hopefully somebody had some extra Old Bay there, Dallas, Gina. You can't afford another meltdown. Just keep missing playoffs is easier for you, Mark. Why can't I afford another meltdown? I can always afford. Man, meltdowns are cheap. They don't cost you anything. Hey, I'm sorry to hear about your father, Mark. Thank you very much, Breezy. Breezy Bible verse. Timothy Jett. Dak was MVP that season and got screwed. That's what I'm saying. So, everybody's out here, well, he's not one of the hot coordinators. I've seen a lot of hot coordinators get cold real fast and literally getting them run out of town. If you think about this one. When Robert Saleh was hired, he was one of the hottest coordinators out there. Everybody looked at him and said, oh, great. And Campbell, everybody looked at him and said, he's a freaking idiot. Everybody said he was an idiot. Everybody said Mike McDaniels in Miami, oh, my God, he's a hot coordinator. He's going to have Tua and Tyreek Hill? Oh, man, put him in the Super Bowl now. How'd those hot coordinators do versus the guy they thought was the idiot? Idiot's been to 2 NFC Championship games. Casey, what's up, Casey? Long time no see. How are you doing? Casey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Have you gotten married yet, Casey? It was definitely very, very hard. We had the funeral on Friday, and we had a good funeral, and my dad had an incredible life, and he's in me, and my brothers and my sister. Defense got Jets to those AFC champions. Okay. Okay, real fan. If you say so. Where I got to go to see Steven get bitch slapped. Sorry, I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I'm gonna game time's gonna cuss me out. But I'm actually gonna say so far I like some things that they've done. They've done more than they have, and they have at least showing up for OTAs semblance of a team. Now I'm hoping that they're not finished. That we have $37 million, and that sometime in the next few days or weeks, we get Micah Parsons signed, and we get ourselves about another $12 million, and we have $50 million, and then the Cowboys start saying, let's start wheeling and dealing and making some moves to improve this team to make sure we have ourselves a running back, that we have ourselves a really good number 2 wide receiver, that we get another defensive lineman that can stop the run, that we get another edge rusher that can help out too, and probably another DB, and say, let's roll the dice and see what we can do. I think we're in a much better place right now than we were last year. And we're beginning to get some things going together well. Dak Prescott will be ready to rock and roll. You can best believe that. And I was pointing out earlier today, the crazy thing is when Dak Prescott has had a major injury, the next year he blows up. And this is where the Cowboys, I always misspell stuff. Eric, you're just like me then. I'm always misspelling stuff. My wife noticed I misspelled heaven on your mug. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it is misspelled. I didn't even notice it. But thank you. Oh, damn. Eric, tell the people you love them because you might not get the chance again. He put on the back of it. Thank you so much, Eric. Boy, did I miss Dad. Thank you so much. Whew. Boom. Love it. My dad. The reason I have been cursed with the Cowboys. All righty, good people. It is 10 o'clock, and there's others out there that are waiting to use the YouTube, and I don't want to keep y'all from them. Bible verse, Mark, we are here for you, big guy. And let me say thank you for everybody who has helped me through this, which is all of you. Sending prayers out to Momo. He lost his brother 2 days ago and things. And I know there's a lot of people that are dealing with losses. I'm not anybody special. Everybody has lost people. This is the first time that I've really lost family members this close. Well, no, it's not. I lost my brother. But I appreciate all you guys. And with that being said, we're going to turn out the lights because this party's over.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.